Hey, what's up? We're lifewithoutpants with another Path of Exile video, and in today's video we're going to talk about the new Atlas passive Keystones. Now, I was watching another, I think it was a Q Dog video, and he was talking about these, these new Atlas passive Keystones, like growing hordes. Obviously, growing hordes and wandering path we've got already, and he was looking at the new ones like Extreme Archaeology. This looks like a lot of fun. I think I'm definitely going to be using this in combination with Legion farming at the beginning of the league. But Chris mentioned that there were 16 new Atlas passives on new Atlas Keystones on the Atlas passive tree, and then after a little while, after we go through the through this one, and then we get to Speaker of the Dead, which also looks pretty good, the Tormented Spirits one. I'm definitely looking forward to trying to. It seems a bit like Sentinel, like you could buff a bunch of monsters and hopefully they're drops. Just way more manual, so I think that's going to be very interesting. Cassia's Pride, man, I'm not sure too much about Blight. Maybe this means that a few of the towers are finally going to be good. Perhaps not. Lucid Dreams, this one was very interesting because, well, for a number of reasons. I mean, they rebalanced all the things for Vaal side areas. So if we take a look at this strange sinkhole here, you can see you can now craft it. So you can basically add an alk or whatever to it and get it to change based on the regular crafting rules. And when they use a Chaos Orb on it, you see Vaal vessels contain an additional map that is inhabited by the Vaal. So that's something new. As far as I'm aware, a map that is inhabited by the Vaal. And then this next one, oh no, not this one, but this next one is super important. Vaal vessels contain an additional ultimatum aspect. So I think the Maxohotl's Machination price is going to plummet a little bit because there's going to be way more. It's going to be a lot easier to get ultimatum aspects, and that's going to be quite important for a lot of builds. One of the ones I'm playing right now uses Maxohotl's Machination, so I think that's really, really interesting. And I noticed, I think it's now that at some point Chris talks about just the Atlas passive tree in general, and then in the background there's a big, it's like a pretty big projection. Oh no, we talk about destructive play. This one, I mean, it's Maven, like you get 1 to 3 additional map bosses. I think this could be useful. Here we go. But I think the 1 to 3 additional map bosses could be useful if you're doing some kind of like map bosses drop additional Harbinger shard stacks or Harby currency stacks. I think it could be useful for that. They're not going to make farming Maven map bosses interesting, I don't think, but we got to this point and there's just this big, like, this is what the Atlas passive tree skill tree looks like in 322. So let's talk about it, because they said 16 different Atlas passive Keystones, and I think this shot is only up for a little while, but some of the things I noticed, I put down in a nice little paint. We did a MSPaint stream for a little bit, and I basically figured out what's different about the whole Atlas passive skill tree. So we can, I've also got the regular game up here, so we can just have a look at the current one. This is the current one as of 321, and this is the new one. So there are 16 different keystones. So let's talk about those keystones for a minute. So there's the Expedition Keystone down here, the Extreme Archaeology that Chris talked about in this large Expedition wheel. Then we got the Torment one over here. So this is, I think, the Seance wheel. I've put like these light blue ones around new keystones and red ones around moved or different things. We got the Blight one. So that's over here. You can see the Blight, the Blight icon here. The Vaal side areas one that he talked about, I think it's this one here. And I don't know, because this, let me see if I can just highlight these a bit better. Like this is a new icon. I don't know what icon that is. It's like a sort of, now I looked around a bit, obviously, Let's see if I got it here. Yeah, so I was on PODB and I was trying to figure out which icon it was, and I thought maybe it could be Ultimatum. Maybe some Copium. Maybe it is Ultimatum. Maybe. It's probably not though. It's probably the corrupted area. So that's, yeah. We're gonna get Ultimatum back, guys? I don't think we are. But this could be the Trial Master down here. Who knows? I think that's a Vaal side area one. I'm praying for Ultimatum to come back. Then the Maven boss one, I think, is over here. Currently in the game, you've got this one, Throw the Gauntlet. And if we zoom in on it, you can see it's like this, you know, Maven standing there. And this one, I think, is it's this one over here, I think. And then this one is the new one. That is my prediction. Obviously, this is like, we don't know for sure what these things are. And this tree is probably old because it was, you know, if it's there at Exilecon, then it's probably old by the time it gets there. So it's probably, you know, from 3 weeks back. So this is probably different. And there's a couple of other things that make me think that it's different as well. So let's go on to the others. We found down here, there's one for the Forbidden Masters, it looks like, because it's got, you know, Nico and Jun and Alva and Einhar. So I think there's one here for the Forbidden Masters. Probably going to be, you know, only the one that you've selected turns up and the others never turn up, or something like that. Harvest got one over here on the this harvest wheel. This is the you know, if you select the purple ones here, then it's like purple plants show up less often. So this is like an exclusion kind of wheel, so I would imagine it would be quite thematic with that. Legion got one down here. This Legion wheel is different as well, but I think it's the one that was up here before. So I think that's just this Legion wheel has been moved, and it's got this new keystone on it over here. Delirium's got one over here on this big Delirium wheel. Ritual got one here. See the little sort of explosion thing? This is the Ritual keystone here. And then Beyond got one on this side. And this seems like either a new or moved Beyond wheel. There's quite a few Beyond wheels now. And then maybe Ritual again? Maybe there's two for Ritual? Because this is a Ritual wheel as well, and this one's attached. So maybe there's two Ritual keystones. That would be odd, but I couldn't figure out anything else about that. There's one here. It's attached to like the Cirrus thing, so maybe it's a Conqueror map, or maybe it's something completely different because, you know, oh, maybe it's Growing Hordes actually. So this is perhaps Growing Hordes. Let's have a look in game, because that looks, it looks pretty similar to Growing Hordes, doesn't it? So maybe 13 and 14, these ones here, maybe those are whatever was. There's another keystone around here somewhere. So I think Growing Hordes is now has moved a couple of spots away. 14, I was thinking maybe it's for synthesis maps, and maybe this one for Conqueror Maps. Man, more Copium. Like maybe synthesis maps are going to be farmable again. Probably not. Probably not. And then down here, 15 to 67, there's 3, and this is where the mapping zone used to be. This is where, you know, you're shaping the skies, shaping the valleys used to be. So these are new, and the map wheels have moved as well. So there used to be like this shoehorn shaped one here with shaping the valleys and shaping the seas, sorry. So this one used to be here. And now it's just this. It's just these 3 keystones and these few map nodes as well. And these little map nodes here, these 4 out of 5 or 6, in fact, they look the same as these ones. And this is the new location on over here of the mapping wheels. So they're 1 point further away than they were before. It's going to be more difficult to run, I think, an early wandering path strat. So obviously you will still, you know, your wandering path, you come, the way I do it currently is I go from the bottom, I go over the Jun wheel and then straight up. And then I would occupy, you know, the 3 map nodes there, and then I'll come up here and then go towards this. And then I would do 1 here, and then 1 here, 1 here, and then 1 here, and then take some of these map nodes, and then come up eventually and take wandering path over here. And I think this is going to make it, this is going to make map sustain a touch more difficult because it's going to be a longer time for you to get. It's going to, like one extra map or something. It's going to take longer to get to this, but it's also going to take longer to have both of these wheels, depending on what this thing is here. So yeah, there's quite a few other things. So the Scarab one is moved. This seems like another, like a slightly different Beyond one here, because there was no Beyond thing here before in this area, and now there is. There's this Beyond section here, so maybe that's where one of the Beyond things moved to. This, yeah, I don't know what this one is still, and there's another one here, which currently doesn't exist on the tree. So if we have a look here, it would be this Labyrinth one. So, and the Labyrinth one is gone. I can't find the Labyrinth one on here. Maybe I'm hoping I'm just missing it, but this is, maybe the end of the really cheap and easy finding lots of lab stuff, or maybe it could all change by the time 3.22 goes live. Obviously, the map nodes changing, the essence nodes as well. The essences are over here now. This is the 3 additional essences which you find just down here, right next to a bunch of stuff really early on. Now it's all the way over here, so that's going to be particularly painful for essence finding. It's going to make crafting more difficult, because if people can't get as many essences with as many skill points, then we're going to have less essences. There's just going to be less. And yeah, there's a few other things, like, so that this heist wheel here, this has got less nodes on it. They've rejigged a few things. The Eater of Worlds and the Searing Exarch, they're sort of diagonals now instead of straight up. So that's just a small oddity. But yeah, lots of things don't seem to have changed, but there are some systems with no keynote, and I think that's quite interesting as well. Or keystone rather. So there's no Abyss, there's no Breach, there's no Shrines, there's no Essences, there's no Harbinger, there's no Metamorph, there's no Heist, and there's no Sanctum. And most of those, like Heist and Sanctum, I'm not really surprised about, because they're not in-map stuff. So that doesn't surprise me very much. Metamorph, I thought there would be one. I'm not sure, I think maybe they're saving these for 3.23, who knows? But like Essence, Harbinger, I would have really thought there would be something like that. But nothing, no dice as far as I've seen so far. So now, like I said, I counted out the points for Wandering Path as well. So now it's 19 now, and it will still be 19, because you'll just be taking your map nodes won't be here, but they'll be like over here. Is that? Oh, it's where the gateway is. Yeah, so it's just before the gateway. So it's just like here. So it's not going to be too much of a difference, but it, maybe you'll have one less good map, something like that. But yeah, I'm going to put this. I'm going to put the notes that I have, like what the keys are, in the description, and I'm going to make sure that I upload this picture somewhere so we can all check it out. But yeah, that's it from me. I hope you are kind to everyone you meet. I love you all very much, and I'll see you in the next one. Looking forward to 3.22. Cheers.